Awesome. Hey Binks, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. It's a little cold here where I'm at, so I'm just trying to stay warm.
It's a bit breezy over here. We don't get cold, but the wind picks up a bit, and I have a thing with the air touching my skin. It like overstimulates me, and I hate it.
Yeah, I remember I grew up down in South Florida, and when the weather would get like into the 60s, like everybody would freak out. It was like the end of the world.
Literally, yeah. I know that feeling. We don't have clothes for cold weather. When I was told I'm going to like Massachusetts, I brought nothing of the sort, and the only thing I had for warmth was the iconic bunny hoodie.
hmm
So I relied heavily on that, and when it got dirty, I was kind of screwed.
All right, so let's jump right in. I got a bunch of questions here, and we got a bunch of questions coming in, and let's get started here. Tell us about Binks prior to signing up for Fishtank. What was your life like? What were you doing? What was all that like?
Okay, so before I signed up, I had taken on more work as like a PA, like production assistant or personal assistant, and I just work with different people in the music industry whenever they need something. It's very flexible, and I'm pretty much a very organized person. I used to work in an office as like a campaign manager. So basically, I help people with traveling and their like sessions and booking their like hotels and everything. When they need like certain diets and stuff, I just do like all the stuff that they don't want to think about. But when I work on sets, I kind of just like run to get coffee. I bring things from one side of the building to the other side. But it's just like having hands. And I like it because it allowed me to focus on my streaming because I really wanted to be like a travel streamer and stuff like that. I don't really like the idea of having a 9 to 5. That was very stressful for me. Not cool, not fun.
hmm
But yeah, so that's kind of what I was doing. And, I was coming back from Europe helping out over there. And then I had cut my trip short. Actually, I had said, like, I can do this, but like, I have to leave because I told my 10 followers and mostly myself, basically. I said, I'm going to go to TwitchCon. Like, I'm going to manifest that this is going to happen for me. And so when I went, that was like, as my airplane is ascending from Europe to California, which I had many like 2 layovers. It was terrible. It was the worst flight pattern ever. I got the text that like my mom died in Italy, which is like a lot. So I had to deal with that and go to TwitchCon. And I mean, it's still not resolved because when you're dealing with that, you have to deal with like government stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I was doing.
How did you find out about Fishtank? Like, how did you sign up for it initially?
So I actually did not sign up for it at all. I had just been on Instagram or something, and I always wondered like how they found me, but I mean, I heard they used a casting agency, so it makes sense now. There was a random guy who just like went into my DMs and he was like, "Hey, you want to be on a show or whatever?" I forgot the guy's name, but he's not anyone from Fish Tank. He's like from the casting agency.
hmm
And I thought it was spam, but then when I looked at the guy's page, I was like, no, this seems like a real person. So I replied and I entertained it, but then I forgot about it for a while. And he hit me up again. He was like, "Hey, by the way, we're closing the castings in 3 days. So if you're still interested, um, apply and I'll put your information in front of the production." And I was like, oh, so this can be one of two things. One, they really want me on the show. Two, they don't have anybody else to call and they're desperate. So I was like, all right, well, my chances are pretty good here since he reached out to me twice and I forgot about it. So I went and I applied. My video was so cringe. I did not like it at all, but I guess that's what they wanted. I'm not good at remembering stuff. So I had to remember the questions that they wanted in the little video, and it was like a mess. It was so embarrassing. But that's how I found out about the show.
Do you actually? That's funny. Do you have a sample, or do you still have the your interview video?
I do. I should post it.
You totally
I'm maybe
should.
gonna post it. It's bad.
Why do you
Um,
think it was cringe? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Because I can't read. Just kidding. No, because I had like, okay, I had my iPad like underneath the camera and I was facing a ring light and I'm trying to remember all the bullet points that they wanted answered. And it was just honestly not even like me. I was like, hi, I'm Binks and I'm a streamer from Miami, Florida. It was very like TV show like. And I'm like, oh man, this is embarrassing. But I know you guys love to laugh at me, but I laugh at myself more than any of you ever could. And that's why I don't care so much, when people heckle me. Because I'm like, dude, I would heckle me too.
Um, the first day of Fish Tank, when you went into the house and you met everybody in the house, did anybody stand out as like an immediate threat to you? Like who stood out as a threat, or who did you look at as like your op, and who was like the least intimidating as far as like from a game standpoint?
Okay, so from the moment I walked in the door, I like to not have assumptions about people because you never know, truly. So my plan for the first week was to completely fade into the background and watch how these people act around each other so that I know how to proceed, and that's exactly what I did. But if I had to make an assumption, within the first day or two, I thought that Alexis and Laurent were the biggest threats because as far as reality TV show people go, like they seemed like they knew what was up, and their alliance was too solid, and I knew I was too weird to ever truly be in it. So I had to somehow break off and like break them up. So Laurent and Lexi were the strongest. The person I thought was the least threat was Ian because he just doesn't care, and yeah, that seemed to be accurate.
Nice. One of the things that uh came to light very early in the show was that you and Alex both got emails with the fish tank headers on them. How much did you look into fish tank prior to going on? You had to have like some knowledge of what you were getting into before you went on to the show.
So funny thing is like just how they messaged me on Instagram and I didn't get back to the guy. He had to like literally message me. Is that I had been way too busy this year to like look into that stuff. So when I randomly got the email, I was like, because they had told me that they were going to send me a contract. That was the last thing I heard from them. And then I received a contract and I hadn't applied for anything else. So I assumed that was like their publisher or some kind of like housing company that they had. Like, I don't know. But I just sent that to a lawyer that I have. And it's not my lawyer, but it's like one of the lawyers I have access to. And they reviewed it and just basically told me, hey, this looks pretty solid and standard. Just the part they asked about like owning your life story rights or something, they're like, that's kind of like unique, but otherwise it's good. So then I sent an email back to the lawyer that they had on file. And I was just saying, hey, cool, this looks great. Just asking about this life story rights, like what does that mean, like exactly, because it's different languages for different like productions. So she just like didn't reply and then voided the contract and said this is not happening anymore or whatever, like, or something, like it was an automated reply canceling. And so I just thought, oh, okay, I guess they're not doing it anymore, and I like kept working. And then I received a call like the day before, like 2 days before I had to leave, from Ben saying, "Hey, we had a dropout. That show was canceled. Not Fish Tank was canceled. It was Last Man Standing, which was my original show. The Last Man Standing fell through. They were working on other productions in the meantime. I knew that. Um, and then they said basically that they had a dropout for, what was it? The next big thing. And I
I
said,
think
okay, sure,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, so I was like, sure, whatever, I'll go. So when I went, they're like, actually, it's not next big thing. They're telling me this in person now. It's called Famous House. And I was like, okay, sure. I just want money. Like, that's all. So I didn't care what it was called. And then eventually it was Fish Tank. And my objective never changed.
Was there ever a point where Alex was like maybe said, because it's possible that Alex might have looked into it a little bit, but we also know how absolutely batshit crazy Alex is at this point. Was there ever anything said to you like? in whispers about the show, or about what you might have been on in the beginning?
No, he was very actively vocal about it. He from day one was like, "We got the fish tank email and this and that," and like everyone was just trying to figure out the show for some reason, which I thought was weird because like you're on a show, just be on the show. So I don't get it. But like they were all like, "Oh, I guess there were a lot of things that didn't add up," so that
Hmm.
made sense. But basically, he said everything out loud. He said he thought it was going to be outside. He said we got the email, but that's all he said. Like all the stuff you heard, he like looped. He also said he wasn't planning on being on the show the whole time, that he just wanted exposure and he had a cruise and he was leaving.
Hmm. Yeah, that I remember that. Um, when you were first in the house, and there were big reveal that you guys were on Hulu. What were your thoughts on being on Hulu, and then with Teddy and Smack magically like disappearing throughout the first 2 weeks? Like how did you feel during those moments? What was that like for you?
So when they revealed that it was on Hulu, I mean, I was indifferent about it because I thought the show was going to be on something. They never told me what it was going to be on, but I figured it was either that or like Amazon, so I wasn't shocked. Again, like I'm not a TV person, so I don't like for me it was kind of whatever because the people who watch reality shows don't really translate into the audience that like watches streamers. So I was just like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm on a show, it's on a platform, like to me that's normal. I wasn't like crying about it or anything. And what did you ask the last part?
Oh, about like when Teddy and Smack just magically left the show.
I forgot what they did about Smack. Like I think she just disappeared, but Teddy had already left. So Teddy won. That was when shit started getting weird for me because I don't trust people. I also don't trust people who are blacking out the windows and like
Mm.
not giving me too much information. So I was already skeptical of this being some kind of weird social experiment. And when they ran out and everything, I didn't believe it was real. I told Alex in the kitchen, I was like, I don't believe this is real, type thing. And he was like, oh, like that made me feel really bad that you're so gaslit. Basically, he didn't use that word, but that you're so gaslit that you can't tell what's real and what isn't. And I was like, yeah, I think they just wanted to remove Teddy. Like I don't know. But then when I really liked Teddy, I didn't know he was a weirdo and that nobody liked him. So when he broke his like arms, I just thought, man, you know what? Even if this is like, there's a possibility this could be real. And I felt really fucking bad. Like, I was like, he's such a sweet dude. I can't believe he hurt himself for this fucking show. Like, that's crazy. And I started crying. When Smack left, that was suspicious, but I didn't have any proof. And I saw that she left us like her little things. So I didn't think too much about it because I know I wasn't going to get answers. But it
Yeah,
was weird.
there was people on the website saying that she was like leaving notes in the bathroom, or leaving like little notes around. Were any of those notes found, or was anything like that found?
So I know what they're talking about because I think production took it, but they wrote "See you on the outside" on the skateboard earring
Hmm.
and left it somewhere, but they gave it to us later, like later on.
Oh, nice.
She did leave her earrings without the words on it, though.
Um, One of the things that a lot of viewers noticed, which kind of, I guess, led people to uh, think that you had more of an idea of the show you were on, was earlier in the show there was multiple interactions between Jeremy Gold and Gay Ben, where you could physically see everybody else kind of reel back or kind of get really nervous at how Jeremy Gold was acting. However, you would just have a smile on your face. Do you, when were you nervous? Is that how you treat being nervous, or?
I wasn't nervous because I'm not afraid of him, but yeah, that is how I act all the time. I have a lot of autistic friends and a lot of people who are on the spectrum. They do things that are not, the neurotypical actions. They get angry. Sometimes they punch things, so for me, I just don't react, like I just let people do, and then I watch and I don't react, and then I see what's really going on. And that's what happened with him.
Going from that, going off of that, when it was finally revealed that you guys were on Fishtank, and they played the whole trailer, and then it cut to cams from different seasons of Fishtank, and then ultimately Sam did the big reveal. Um, what was going through your head at that moment?
When Sam revealed Fish Tank, is that what you asked? My
Yeah,
internet's like kind of freaking out right now. Hold on.
it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, repeat your question, please.
When you guys got to actually watch the like the bumper, the fake bumper for the Hulu show, and then it went directly into the camera footage, or the stills of different cameras from different seasons of Fish Tank, and then Sam did the rug pull and exposed that you guys were on Fish Tank. What were the emotions that you were feeling at that time? Like what was going on there? How was that for you?
So again, like whenever something happens, I try to remain completely calm. It's kind of like a military response type reaction. And I just wait to see like what everyone else is doing to read the temperature of the room, and that's what I did. But my internal feelings once I processed it was that I was way happier that it was a show like this, because the audience that would watch streamers, people in a house 24/7, like that's extremely parasocial. That fits in with what I do a lot. And although I did receive a lot of controversial like energy from it, like negative feedback, I still got a lot of positive. And either way, I appreciated that people were supporting something like this and that I could be a part of it, because it does translate into the world I want to be a part of. So I was more excited about it. I didn't know it was going to be so like they were gonna put me in a fishbowl. But I mean, if I was watching that, that's pretty funny.
Hmm. One of the things that happened shortly after the reveal was that Alex's wife ended up coming on to the show with her daughter, and that whole ordeal. Can you explain a little bit to us about that experience, and then also uh, what it felt like to get kicked out of the show, just to come back shortly after?
Okay, so again, I thought everything was fake. I thought these people were just like messing with us, like there's no way it was real. And when Alex's wife came in, I thought this is like a Jerry Springer moment. Like it cannot be real. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. She came in and it was real, and she grabbed my hair and pulled me off that bed, and I was like, "Oh, this bitch is not playing." Like I thought it was the craziest thing. But she seemed chill after the fact. Like she was more calm, and like at dinner, even though I made fun of her by putting on the wig and the shirt. Um so I don't know, but I thought it was just to mess around with me. I thought Alex was in on it. At that point, I thought Alex was a plant of some sort.
Hmm.
That was kind of my take on it. So when they removed me again, like it was very Truman Show. When they removed me, I thought they were messing with me. And so I thought there's no way that you can just take me off the show just for being here. Like I'm not that boring. Everyone rages when I say that, but I didn't think that it was real. But then as they were Ubering me to the airport, I was like, damn, are they gonna call me back? Like, so then they just said, oh, just take the video and then like Uber back. And I was like, okay.
So they gave you a Uber to the airport, told you to essentially film like I'm coming home, and then called an Uber for you to come back to the house after what's her name,
Yeah,
Jacqueline left.
yeah, they psyched me out a little bit, but I wasn't buying it.
Um, the same day, Jacqueline's daughter was spreading a lot of misinformation to the contestants, or they both were, right, saying that you're not getting 50,000, you're only getting 5,000. This is all being live streamed. How much of that do you think affected the other fish in the house?
I think it affected people quite a bit. And to be honest, I mean, was she wrong? She said we weren't going to get any prize money and nobody did. So there
So
was
you haven't
no,
you
yeah.
haven't gotten any money yet?
Well, no, I haven't asked yet. I have not compiled my information yet with my fish bucks and stuff. I need to know how many fish bucks I got because that got kind of hairy. Like keeping track of that was confusing. But no, I have not billed them yet or talked about money yet. But it's not on them, it's on me.
Yeah, that's completely understandable, and I understand if you can't actually talk about it. Um, when Frank Hassel came into the house, you seem to have a lot of knowledge of people who exist on the internet. Did you know who Frank was when he showed up? And are you glad that he seemed to hassle uh, you a lot less than, say, like Mizzy or Symbol?
I don't know who Frank is. I've never seen Frank. But what I thought was interesting is that people think I do, like, because I'm a streamer, like
Hmm.
I should know who all these people are, but I don't. The only people I know of are like Kai Sinat, Ginny TTY, and I know Chris Chan because I grew up like on the internet, like he's
Hmm.
infamous. I know what's his name, Cobra King Cobra, because my friend sends me disgusting videos of him eating. I don't like know about his life or like delve into the parts of it that like everyone else knows. And then who was the other guy? Boogie. Boogie has been coming up on my Twitter since I was a kid.
Hmm.
And it's all bad. It's all bad. But I've never looked up in his life. I never saw that Frank went to his house, which was fucking awesome. But yeah, I'm not sure why that's so hard to believe, I guess, but that's my take on it.
Um, do you feel that he maybe hassled you less than, say, Mizzy or Symbol?
Yeah, so with the hassling part, um, he did not come after me as hard because I feel like you can ask him this, I don't know, but this is my take on it. I manipulated the Frank situation in a way of like, it's not entertaining to mess with someone who doesn't seem to care. And the other girls were getting pissed. And I just laughed and went with it. So he moved on to them. He moved on to the person who got the most pissed, which was Mizzy. And he messed with her really bad. Like she was walking around covered in food and stuff. And I just basically ignored him about it and he didn't bother me. So I feel like that's what it was. Had I been the type of person to be like, hey, can you fucking leave me alone or whatever, then he would have fed on that and it would have become a thing. But I feel like when he didn't receive that information, it it just fell through for him and like I wanted him to mess with the girls so that they would leave.
Hmm.
That was my strategy is like fade into the background, let them leave. Again, I think that the audience was expecting more of like a season 2 or season 1 where everyone's like messing with each other, but really when you bring politics into it, you can't do that because you put a target on your back and then you get voted off.
Yeah, speaking of that, there was a point where it was down to, I think, just you, Peyton, Symbol, and Bert when they decided to do like the season 2.0. Um, you all were tasked with like keeping it hush hush and not saying anything. Um, was there anybody out of the four of you that you thought might spill the beans before? And what did you think of the new contestants who came into the house on that day?
So about the new contestants that came into the house, basically, I thought they were really naive. They were very much the type of people who I would imagine the original cast would have been. Like the original cast was more tactical than these people. And I'm not sure why, but they were very easy to manipulate and kind of chaotic and very more normy. I feel like the other people were like a little more internet. and they were more normie. So when it came to having them walk into the house, I thought Bert was going to give it away. Like, I thought he was going to have an episode or leave one of his little many notes around the house. And yeah, that didn't happen. So everyone was pretty good about it.
Who is the most normie contestant, like actual contestant, not freeloader?
I think the most normie contestant, I have to remember them, was maybe like Ian.
No, don't say that shit, man.
Don't say that shit,
man. I don't like that.
Don't say that shit.
One of the contestants that came in during the season 2.0 was Brandon, right? Brandon got immediately a lot of flack from Luke about him making a dress for what was it, 8-year-old drag queen. And Sam pulled you into the room and wanted you to get him out of the house in tears. Now that everything is over, what are your feelings about Brandon and what he did in his past, or what he still might be doing? Who knows?
So I thought it was very strange that they let someone like that onto the show, because if that was such a large controversy when it comes to like the president being involved on calling you out for PDF filing and stuff like that, that's kind of a big deal, kind of an oversight to bring someone like that on the show. And I thought it was offensive to try to come after me, who's playing for like stakes in this show, to do you a favor of kicking him off. Which, honestly, if that's like a PR nightmare, which it should be in every way, you should just remove that person and not ask me to do it for you. When it comes to making him leave in tears, I was never going to like side with Brandon in the show, like never be on his side, but I would have used him had he been forced to stay. That would have been an angle I would have played, because the only thing I cared about was winning. But I don't support anything that he did. I don't support the drag and children. I don't support that he put that child on his website, because if the child's parents are going on and having them do these drag shows or whatever, that's on their parents, and that's very unfortunate. But for you as an adult in the industry of drag and all that, like, to put a kid on your website, that's you like facilitating that, you know? And it's not so much that the outfit was glittery or whatever. It's because it was not a revealing outfit, but you to put that kid on your website that has like fetish clothes and things like that is like, it's just a weird fucked up situation. And to put that on people who have been in a house for like, how long was I there for? Like 3 weeks already, 2 weeks, like being gaslit. My brain was worms, and now I have to deal with like the back end stuff, the admin stuff of removing a PR nightmare from your place. When I have to get Symbol out, like that was my priority.
At that point, Binks. Oh, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And yeah, no, that's just what my priority was at the time. And I said, dude, you get him out of here. I never said keep him or anything like that. That's not somebody that should be on a show.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. Clip it, ship it, post it. It's done, right?
Binks, do you think maybe that, like, given that information, like, okay, it is a PR nightmare, maybe production should have known better. Do you think maybe there's a chance they did know and that maybe it was orchestrated that way?
I mean, there's always a chance, but I like to think that they wouldn't put someone like that on their show knowingly.
Absolutely.
So, you that night, you ended up essentially everybody collectively ended up getting Symbol voted off the show, and you were very happy. But you did say earlier in the show that your favorite arc, your favorite character arcs in TV shows and movies are the ones where people start as friends, but then turn into enemies. Were you happy with how you got Symbol out of the house, or would you have liked more of a challenging, dramatic conclusion to Symbol?
No, I was so happy about it. I was so sick of him, man. It's like I don't like people like that. I think that everyone likes to call me a villain because I manipulated the house, but I was on a game show playing a game. But I feel like Symbol acts like that. Like something about him and the way he acts in there tells me that he really acts like that in real life. And it was just seedy. It didn't sit right with me. He doesn't seem like somebody I would want to talk to outside of that show or even in the show. And that says a lot. So when you get a gut feeling, I don't want him around. I didn't want him in Vegas. I didn't want him at the finale, and I would do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite tropes I don't remember saying it was from friends to enemies. Maybe I did. I say a lot of things, but my favorite one is enemies to lovers.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Enemies to lovers.
Yeah, I don't remember saying friends to enemies. It's enemies to lovers, and I never wanted to be Symbol's lover. Symbol don't touch, no touch.
He was a touchy guy, that Symbol.
Oh yeah, I was screaming with my eyes when he was doing his like weird stuff, but I would then forget about it immediately because it's kind of not important to focus on. Like I just wanted to play the game. But yeah, oh my god.
So Binks, it seems like ever since the show, like it's everybody basically knows this already because we've been watching his YouTube streams. Alex B. So he's become a bit of a lolcow, but like during the show, it was clear that you guys had like this really friendly kind of like brother sister chemistry. But we know that like you've kind of watched him repeatedly basically make a fool of himself on his own channel, and it must be like a little disheartening. So like, are there moments when you feel bad for him, or even miss like the camaraderie both of you shared? Like, would you be open to maybe having a more constructive and friendly conversation to maybe like settle the differences between you two? Because I mean, it did seem like you guys were pretty cool on the show, and it just seems like ever since then he's kind of been making a fool of himself.
So, coming back to my setup, not being able to handle all of this, like all of these people on my Discord, all these people on my streams, and all the personal stuff I pushed aside. There's still things I have to take care of. I actually have not caught a lot of Alex's B's self destruction streams. What I've seen are just clips, and I've heard a lot about this. So he made a reaction video to me once, and they were like, "Oh, Binks, like you need to watch our shit or whatever," because I watched like 3 of his clips on a reaction thing, which was like I watched a bunch of things and not just him. And yeah, people had to show me that. Otherwise, I would have never seen it. So hopefully, once the dust settles, I can go revisit the Alex self-destruction arc. But I do feel bad. I feel like he didn't know what he was getting into, and it kind of blew up in his face, given that he has like the personality that he does. Here's the thing. I am a very chill person, and like Alex always said like, "Oh, if it was okay, would you still be down to make content?" And I was like, "Dude, out of respect to your wife that you said you were leaving and all this stuff, like I wouldn't talk to you ever again." Like I don't get that. Like she had every right to be angry. Maybe not like assault me. Like that was kind of wild, but like cuz Mizzy kissed him. I never kissed him. So I don't get why I got my hair yanked out, but Mizzy was chill. Like I don't know.
I think she saw a picture of him like holding your legs during a handstand or something, and she just got immediately jealous that she can't do a handstand. That might have been it.
I didn't know what she was talking about when she said, I saw you holding her legs. And I was like, he's never touched me. But it was just like a handstand thing or something. I don't know. I really didn't know what she was talking about. And then I was like, oh.
Well, a lot of fans were also like sending her some AI things and some clips that were taken out of context and stuff like that. And they really made it seem like the fans, by the way, not production. They made it seem like y'all were hooking up. And so when she came in, it was like guns blazing. Oh hell no, I'm gonna take this bitch down. All this stuff and so that's I guess that's what prompted the whole trying to grab for you on the bed thing.
Yeah, that was a unique experience to say the least. I was blindsided. I could have ripped that wig off her head, but I didn't want to be that person on TV getting into some kind of like crazy fight.
Did you feel like she was drunk at all there?
I'm the worst person to like judge whether or not somebody's drunk because I don't drink. and I try to remain like blissfully ignorant of like alcohol consumption around me.
Mhm.
So Alex said she smelled like alcohol, she's drunk or something. So maybe that was true, but I mean, you gotta be to act like that, right? You gotta be.
Throughout the show, there were many Bert went through many character arcs throughout the show. Which one was your favorite? Which one did you like the most?
Of Symbol, you said?
No, of Bert. Which
Oh, Bert.
yeah.
Yeah, so Goldbert was my favorite because when he came down with his little like body paint and the boa, and there's so many storylines going on. We had Chris getting stuff dumped on him. We had Goldbert in the garage. It was peak. It was peak. And so when me and Peyton were up there, we had no idea what was going on. I was convinced that they were cutting the show early because they lost too many people. So I felt it. I could just feel it in the air. Like having worked behind the scenes so much gave me really good insight on what was going on downstairs. And I was like, fuck, they're gonna end the show, like this and that, whatever. Like I tried really hard to just navigate that situation with caution because you never want to like give away anything that's actually planned or whatever. But when I was watching Goldbert, it kind of kept me together. Like that was really funny.
Yeah, the camera of you guys sitting in the mailroom looking down is such a good angle. It's such a good scene. I remember Peyton says to you, she goes, "This is hell. We're in hell," and you said, "No, this is heaven." And it was just a great moment in Fishtank.
I love that. Wow, I want to watch that back.
When the whole Goldberg thing was going on, and after everybody left the show, there was like a couple days of just absolute like stall in the show where not a whole lot of stuff was going on. Um, did you feel that the show was stalling? Like you said, you felt the whole Goldberg thing and it was coming to an end. Did you feel that it was coming to an end? Did you have any idea that you were getting ready to go on a road trip or something like that?
The road trip was brilliant. I know that there was a lot of bad connection, but it was a great way to try to make the best of a bad situation. Because if what I heard there was like a zoning issue or something, there was a reason we had to leave the house. That's what I heard post tank, the rumors on the street. That has not been confirmed to me. If they really were faced with something like that, like you guys have no idea how much you have to overcome on like a moment's notice to just continue something that's been planned for like a whole year. And so I respect that they took such a bold decision to take it on the road, and hopefully it'll pave the way for future streams to be easier. That may also include a road trip component to it. Yeah, so I don't blame them for doing that, but I did feel the show was going to end and that they just came up with a brilliant idea and they ran with it. And I think in post, it's going to look like very cinematic.
Yeah, I mean, even though it was scuffed, it was very interesting to see. There was a lot of wild thoughts on where they were going. Initially, a lot of people thought Sam was going to take you to Atlanta and reveal the winner at a show, and some people thought that he was going to Washington D.C. Just so many crazy speculations on where you guys were going. But the camera was definitely scuffed, and there were several times when the cameras would go down for hours at a time. Was there ever anything crazy that happened in the RV that we would have missed?
Yo, Fatty fell. Fatty busted his ass. He was like slipping and sliding around the RV, and there was like a little ledge and he just like fell on his spine. It was so bad. I felt really bad for him. But yeah, that was kind of an epic moment. What else happened in there? I don't know. It was just a long car ride. We can't listen to music. So it was tough to be entertaining in a car for so long.
All
And
right,
especially, for me, it was TTS. Like not having TTS was really tough.
give me 1 second. One of the questions that I wanted to ask was when you were traveling on the show, and there was the Peyton ate the elimination chocolate, right? Um, you didn't seem phased at all that she was going home. Bert was freaking out. What's going on? Why is she leaving? I don't understand. And you were just like, she ate the elimination chocolate. Like that was it. Were you made privy to any of this prior to her leaving? Did you have any idea that this was going to happen? Hello?
Oh, sorry. I will say this. It is really hard for me not to notice what's going on around me. So I felt like Peyton she didn't want to be there anymore.
Mhm.
And, you know, they had to send her off somehow. So I wasn't surprised. It was just a vibe that I was getting from her. Um, she never told me she was leaving, but I mean, once you see that you're driving in Texas, you know we're not going to Texas.
What were your thoughts on Mizzy hopping into the RV right after?
That I was not expecting. I was expecting Alex B because we were in Texas and I thought that he had made up with the show and like was going to be a crazy person on the RV and that was going to be an awesome time. But no, I was so shocked when Mizzy came in. She was like my best friend on the show and she's still my friend outside of the show. So I was really glad she was coming. But I felt like she also got a little bored on the trip and like didn't know, like she napped a lot. So I don't know.
Um, when you were traveling, and you actually started going outside and like filming stuff, like when you went to the Mexican restaurant, it seemed like no matter where you went, the fans were able to find out fairly quickly and then just immediately like flood the telephone lines. Was there ever any discussion amongst production about the doxing of the places they were at?
Yeah, they didn't want us to have the windows open in the RV because like people could see signs and track where we are, where we're
Hmm.
going. Um, so they did kind of make us aware. I did not know how big the show was, but I figured that if they had the money to be able to do stuff like that, that it must be sizable enough to be scared, you know? But I was very shocked to see the reception and all the people, and I was glad to meet the fans and have like people sign stuff.
There was like talk of somebody, several cars following the RV. Was that ever a concern that was discussed on the RV?
So the guys really protected us from like being afraid. They didn't tell us anything because I feel like had they told us, we would have freaked out and not really been at our peak performance. So I just think I didn't hear about it, you know?
Hmm.
Did
And
that happen?
well, supposedly that there was definitely some talk about maybe people were following the RV or something, or knew about the whereabouts or something. There's always some type of rumor or something. I don't know if it was even true or not.
See, like that would freak me out a little bit if I
Yeah.
knew. So they wouldn't tell us that.
Well, and it may have well just been a rumor too, because think about people trying to rile everyone up, all the fans and stuff. Could just be a gaslight.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You and you and Fatty seem to make a good team. One of my personal favorite moments, and I've said this before, is when like you and him were like LARPing has like the misadventures of Flapjack. Um, was there ever any point in the show where he made you feel uncomfortable or got on your nerves? Because we as fans know exactly how annoying Fatty can get.
Oh, he can be really annoying when he wants to be annoying. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so Fatty is a cool dude, but he is not aware of the volume of his voice sometimes. And he was definitely talking over TTS when it did come on, and like I had wanted it so bad that I was like, "Fuck, like shut up." But he's a cool person. I think okay, so I think he tried to bother me with the flirting thing, but I think I'm way more annoying than like anybody that was there. Like I have the annoying potential of like I don't even know a god. So basically, like I annoyed him back. Like I started flirting back with him, and he was like, "Oh, you're freaking me out," and then he like I don't know, didn't like it.
How loud was the TTS? Not even anywhere else, like specifically in the house. Was the TTS too loud? Because, like, from my perspective, I thought it was too loud, in my opinion, watching the show.
Oh, you thought it was too loud? It was
Yeah, it
normal.
was. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's because the speaker's right next to the camera.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like what was like being in the house? Like, is it too low even?
Here's the thing. I think that because to mitigate the issue of contestants whispering, they had to increase the sensitivity of the microphones. And therefore, when TTS comes on, it's a loud volume because then we can't hear it. But because the sensitivity is so high from people freaking whispering, like you guys hear it at full blast. So that's the problem.
Well, I think maybe there was mainly like a couple of people whispering. Let's be honest here. Most of the people I think had good volume. But that is interesting to think about because I didn't consider that, like turning the sensitivity up just because of that whispering. Do you
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
that? Do you think that like? Do you think that maybe it would have been better to have like lapel mics or something like that? Even despite the cost, let's forget the cost and all that.
No, because they would have gone lost and like the you have to take in the cost because like you can't just like if I had infinite lapel mics, sure, but they're all gonna get lost. They're gonna get thrown. People are gonna like scuff them. Nobody there really knows how to use them. Like so, they're gonna be like under jackets and things like that.
What do you? So then what's the solution to like the audio quality? Because as the viewer, sometimes it is a little scuffed. And within mind the fact of all the challenges involved.
I mean, I'm not a tech person, but I think maybe getting like maybe lowering the volume of TTS and having a screen in every room that kind of reads that has like subtitles for it or
Oh,
something. So
that's
that
interesting.
yeah, just like a little TV that kind of says what when they come on. Also getting like I don't know because they did try to I guess do a worse whisper tax like whisper jail or like a
Mm.
consequence like if you have strikes of whispering you get kicked off the show.
Well, the whisper tax was a little more harsh in season 2. I mean, left and right they would tax you all like in this season. I don't know if you've seen Bitch Tank, but they had screens up in Bitch Tank. Maybe they could have something like that in the future, some type of like subtitled thing where you could read off TTS and stuff in case you miss something. Because there's so many times where the TTS comes through and people are just ignoring it.
Yeah, I agree. Having the screen would help as long as people don't like throw furniture on it or something.
Yeah. That
Because the
literally that always happens. The TV will get smashed.
TVs don't do well in the house.
No, you're definitely right.
One of the things when you guys first got to Las Vegas and you guys were walking around panhandling for money, um, that night the cameras went out for like 14 hours or something like that. When the cameras finally did come on, you and Luke were talking about how you guys had a little bit of fun that night and how Ben kept coming into your room when he was drunk and how Jeff was absolutely wasted. Can you give us a little bit of insight on what might have happened that night?
So this was the night when we were at Oasis, right?
It would have been, yeah, your first night at Oasis.
Oh my god, that was so funny. So I went to sleep in this room that was literally a stinky jail cell. It had 4 bunk beds that were like hard as hell. and the bathroom without a door on it. It had like a sliding door, but like it doesn't
Mhm.
lock. So I have to shower with these guys in the room, and like honestly, I don't care. But like nobody in there is gonna walk into that room or whatever while I'm showering, and but yeah, it was just terrible. And at night, they all came into the room. It was like Vance, Jeff, Jet, Ben, and they were all just like really drunk, and it was so funny. It was like 4 a.m. and I don't even remember what they were talking about, but like I was laughing my ass off, half asleep, half cracking up. So it was a good time. I hate that place. Don't ever stay there. Oasis is discriminatory, and I don't like that place. They smell.
Yeah, they kicked out my. I went to Las Vegas one time for a male dating experience, and when I was in the lobby, they were kicking out an autistic black man. Crazy.
Crazy.
One of the things that was really funny about that night was when you went to go get your key cards. How surreal was it to be in the lobby dancing while TTS is going off and the phone just ringing off the hook?
Amazing. I loved it. I need more of that in my life. Like, honestly, I wanted to gang up on that lady for being such a huge bitch. Like, let us get our fucking shit and go, bitch. Like, I'm glad we turned up the way we did, and I'm glad they called the stupid police because, like, you're being ridiculous. Like, these people were not hostile. Everyone, like, Sam was being very kind with the lady and trying to get the stuff, and they just weren't having it. So, I don't know.
Um, Yeah, it was super crazy to watch. It was probably outside of like the Ball Brothers concert, it was probably the most entertaining part in Vegas. But with that being said, though, the Ball Brothers concert was absolutely amazing to watch. How was it leaving the, or how was it one seeing the crowd there and then actually leaving and meeting, all these crazy fans? At that point, did you realize just how big of a show you were on?
Yeah, big time, because I thought this is just one state and this is all the people that are on it. So I thought it was kind of wild that they were all able to drive from California or make it here the way they did. It was very humbling, and I had a lot of fun being on stage with the Ball Brothers. I heard it was not easy for them to hear the show though. Like I couldn't
Uh,
hear the names myself.
yeah, it was very scuffed. Thankfully, there was a guy, I think his name was Jack Off, who was actually at the show, who was streaming it on Twitter. That guy's an absolute legend.
Yeah, there's a good video of it out there.
Yeah, I have to watch it because when I was in it, it was just like super, super loud, and I was just focusing on crowd work and like trying to be on stage. Um, but I think they did a good job, and it was like so many papers. I didn't know how they were going to get through all of those papers
Have
in
uh,
time.
have you heard that people in the fish tank on the website were saying that you danced like a GTA stripper? Uh,
Oh my God, is that an insult or a compliment? Because I think that's a
I,
compliment.
I would take it as a compliment. But yeah, that
Yeah,
was one of the things that was said multiple times.
that's awesome. Yeah, definitely drew my inspiration from one of them hoes.
Binks, what did you think about that the initial like dance competition? Was there any like tip off there where you were like, okay, this might be some kind of fucked up thing I'm on, where they just made you dance for hours on end?
No, that seems like a valid like challenge. I mean, but what tipped me off was that I knew Bert was gonna win. I was going for second. It's just that Lexi never gave up because she like actually believed she could win. But I thought Bert was a plant the whole time, or that I thought he was acting, and I thought he was a plant the whole time. So I thought there is no way that I'm gonna beat someone like him at this.
Hmm.
And I just wanted her to drop, but in the end they had to call it because we danced too long. I could have beat him. I could have gone forever.
Did it ever bother you that Lexi left the way she did? Did it concern you about your own like real life? Because it seemed like she left because she was like she didn't want like any of her real life situation to kind of get involved. At least that's what I heard she said. Did that ever kind of tip you off like, oh dang, what am I in store for here?
Um, it did not concern me, but rather it brought to my attention the reality that I'm already aware of. I went into streaming and I work with people in the industry of like music and stuff like that. And there is no way to get through that to be successful in those fields without having some kind of backlash, without having some kind of scandal or some kind of negative stuff. I've seen streamers be attacked, like even people who are wholesome, like Pokimane or something, they get a bunch of haters to the point where they need like a team of people and security. So it's just part of being in this world. And she did not want to put up with that because she doesn't plan to be a streamer or an actor after this. She's a nurse, so I understand her fear.
So did you see it more as an opportunity that you could sink your teeth into? Like, oh, I'm kind of built for this. I've been streaming a little bit beforehand. This is kind of what I've been waiting for.
The whole thing, yeah. Like when they told me it was a live stream show, yeah, I was like, okay, wow, this is way better for me than being on Hulu. Like that's not something I ever aspired to do. I just fell into it, and I feel like you need to say yes to things, and because you never know where it'll take you. And in the end, it took me here, and I'm happy about that. But when she was in that specific moment of her leaving, concerned about her livelihood and her life, I just kind of felt bad for her, and I thought about it brought to light, the what I already knew, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna happen to me when I leave too. So
I
yeah.
mean, to be fair, the first thing she did when she got home was immediately sell her panties on Instagram. I don't know if you knew that.
Which was very offbeat, by the way, I thought. Like,
That was against everything she was like wanting to put out there though. So I at first I didn't believe it, and they're like, oh, you're judging her, and I'm like, no, I just remember how she left and she didn't want that kind of attention. So I don't know, she says she doesn't want that kind of attention, but then she like puts out like OnlyFans type stuff. So I'm not sure what she's gonna do, but I know that I think she's still a nurse, so it's working out. She's doing it.
Um, your whole demeanor seemed to change after your elimination thought, right? Do you feel that this was a fair elimination, or did you know that Bert was going to win just based off of, how popular and how poignant of a person he was throughout the show? Um,
So, yeah, my demeanor did change because I knew that that was the end of the show, and I truly was having a good time on the show. I wanted a fair shot at fighting for the prize money. Just because Bert is the most popular, I see in the previous seasons I was told that there was some kind of battle or something. So
mhm,
I kind of wanted one like that for us. um he definitely outdid me with the content and that's just being Bert. But when it comes to like a game show that I've been strategizing for the entire time, to make it to that point and just be told like, all right, bye, is kind of like, it's not the greatest feeling. But I still respect them for doing the most that they could with the situation. But for me, the moment that I was removed from the house, like I didn't know really what to do because it was a lot of moving parts and it was very confusing stuff going on. I didn't have clear direction on what was going on. I thought we were just going to vote people out to the very end, and then things changed. So yeah, it was just a strange time adjusting, and I wouldn't say it's like not fair. It was just like not what I wanted. Like I wanted
mhm.
to be able to fight him or something somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of fans were like really like iffy on how the show is going to end. I always knew I didn't know, but I always felt it was going to be you and Bert in the end because you were more interesting than Peyton was. And nobody wants to see, 4 days of Peyton and Bert. No offense to Peyton, but you were just a more interesting person. But I feel like the very end of the show, it was a crazy ending. You've seen the ending, right?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty funny.
And
I
then,
thought, yeah, I thought that it couldn't end any other way. Like, I mean, yeah, him getting money, like, but I really feel like this was up to fate. I think they really put it like let go, let God type of moment, and bet it all. And if they would have gotten double, maybe we both would have gotten money. And if they got nothing, no one gets money. It's just like the way the cards were dealt in this season. So I thought that was kind of cool. And whether or not that's true, whether or not that's what they were going to give them the whole 100,000 or whatever, doesn't matter. It's just an interesting like way that it was literally up to chance and up to chat to decide how the season ended, and it was kind of epic. In hindsight, it'll be like a very, very iconic moment for the series.
Yeah, I think once it's all produced and out there, it's gonna be really it's probably gonna be one of the better seasons. I already think it's one of the best. Um Now that the show's over, what do you have lined up in the future? Would you like to work with MDE or Fishtank in the future for like say like blood games, or maybe be a freeloader in the house?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. I would definitely love to keep working on their productions in the future. Um, I do have more back end experience, but as far as being a content creator, that would be really fun as well. And I plan on continuing streaming, and I need to troubleshoot my IRL game because now I'm kind of horrified of like being outside and people knowing where I am and stuff like that. It's kind of spooky. So I don't know. We'll see, but definitely going to continue making content one way or another.
Have you been able to watch any MDE content or any Sam Hyde related stuff?
Yes, I was doing reaction videos to some of Sam's old stuff. I saw Moms, and that was actually one I've seen
Moms.
before. I've
That's a
seen Moms before, but
that's a
I didn't
good
know
video.
who they were.
No,
Um,
that's a good video.
that was really funny. So Moms was basically the blueprint for Famous House, which was epic.
Yeah.
One of the streamers you mentioned at a point was I think her name's Cutebot, right? Is that her name?
Yeah, she does
Yeah,
dating
she
shows.
does speed dating her fans, right?
Yeah.
Would you ever like speed date your Sims?
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah, I thought that would be a really fun thing to do to get to know everyone.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I need to set
Yeah.
it up though.
And then speaking of I don't want to say Sims, but speaking of fans or fans of you, right? Um, can you tell us about the Bong Zarippa leak?
Yeah, so anyway, the bong leak was so unintentional. I felt really bad that that happened. Yeah, so he had sent me that, and it was actually in my unread before. And yeah, so I didn't know that that was even a page, like the unread for all your messages page.
Hmm.
And when it popped up, I didn't notice. And then afterwards, people were copy pasting saying I leaked. He messaged me. I was like, what? And honestly, like, I just gotta laugh. Like, I told him, bro, chill. Like, it's fine. Like, no big deal. And he's taking it in stride. He's doing good. You know, we met at TwitchCon, and ever since he's just been really active in my channel. He's a cool guy. So
Yeah, we were in talks with him to actually get him on here, and he was up for it. Like he said he'd come in and we could interview him, but then he said he had like a family emergency, and he had to go, and he wouldn't be able to make the interview tonight. So that kind of sucks. I hope his family's okay. But he's also been on Call of Duty for the last 5 hours. So
yeah, yeah. It's
um,
it would have been good for him to come on and just for people to see us interact as like normal. So it's
mhm.
fine. We're chill. We're cool. Everyone is fine.
So Binks, you're saying that the leak was a complete accident, though. Like you really did not mean any ill intent behind that.
No way. I would never do that. Like that's so messed up. I felt really bad about it after, but at the same time, it's like me feeling bad and me laughing at something is not the same thing. Like I feel bad it happened. It's still hilarious. But like, you know, you're all right. You're gonna get through this. People have been laughing at me for 6 weeks.
Have you
So
reached
it'll
out
be
to
fine.
him at all, like post that?
Yeah, we've talked. It's been okay. He reached out to me about the whole thing, and I was like, "How do you want me to deal with this? Like, are you okay? Whatever." He's fine. He's just like, I don't think he's ever received this much negative attention. So it was just like a lot at once. But along with the negative attention, a lot of people have also thought he was pretty based for like dealing with it, you know?
Yeah, dude's got 2 Rick and Morty bongs, so I think he's pretty cool in my book.
Yeah.
So I got one more question, and then we're just gonna take a couple questions from the audience. Um, so since you've been out, you've been streaming. You watched clips. I saw you on your stream. You watched the Taymaker, the famous Taymaker, where Taylor just gives Trisha a good right hand, and you were genuinely shocked. That was the moment of the show, or that was the moment of your stream where I think you realized why why the fan base was referring to season 3 as coddled Tank. Um, do you think that if anything like this happened in season 3, that you would have been able to handle it or stay on the show?
I would have gone to fucking jail, okay? Because I am insane. And the thing is that I didn't want to get voted off, so a lot of my like reactions and stuff was like a lot of the things didn't bother me. They just were like, to me personally, I don't care. I'm pretty confident in myself, so if you insult me, like that's your problem.
Mhm.
And but what got me, I don't know if you remember, was when I get physically hit or something. Like, yes, Alex's wife grabbed me, but I saved her because I could have run circles around her and ripped off her wig. But like when Bert threw a wipey thing at my body and he like physically hit me with a solid object, I kind of, it was going to go down. But because he started
Mhm.
having a meltdown or something, I think they pulled him aside, but he was gonna throw like the mouthwash at me, not splash it at me. He was gonna throw the actual full mouthwash at me. And had he done that, it was so over. Like I think I would have seen red. Like I've attacked a grown man before type thing.
Do you
And
think you could have
yeah,
survived season 2?
I haven't watched all of it. So I only seen clips, but probably.
So there's season 2 Cell was arguably much more a little more rough than this one because they literally couldn't like use the bathroom,
Mhm.
and they put a bucket in the closet, and it it was rough. There was a lot of cigarettes. That's one of the most drastic changes between season 2 and season 3 was there was a fish toy where we could all just send you a billion cigarettes. Let's say somebody's a bink stand, they could just send you cigarette, 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 cigarette. And most of the time it was just to get you addicted to nicotine and all that. But I think it's possible that maybe they just didn't want to fuck up the house with all
Mhm.
that stinky, shitty cigarette smell. You know what I mean? So maybe you lucked out on that because they also did hot dog challenge right after that. They'd have you smoke a bunch of cigarettes and then do a hot dog challenge and oh my god, there was just
Yeah,
it,
speaking of which, Mizzy said in her interview with who the hell was it? She interviewed Job today. She said that she didn't partake in the hot dog challenge because she didn't want to get sick, and she wanted to have the energy to compete for the rest of the triathlon, right? However, you smoked a cigarette and you've never smoked a cigarette and you got really sick. So what would you what do you what do you have to say to Mizzy who wouldn't eat hot dogs whereas you smoked a cigarette and you don't even smoke?
I don't get it because I would have eaten hot dogs and milk if I ate that stuff. But I made it very clear to Jet when we interviewed like months ago. I said I don't drink alcohol and I'm vegan. Like I don't eat
Hmm.
that stuff. And he
didn't
said,
you
no,
eat
that's
a hot
fine.
dog?
No, people keep saying that. I ate a carrot when Alex Stein came and he was doing hot dog challenge and then I was eating carrot, but I never ate a hot dog. So towards Mizzy, I would say it's a good thing that she didn't do it because she was my opponent. But if I was her, I would have done it. Just throw up after.
All right.
It doesn't count, right?
Doesn't
We'll do
count.
We'll do a couple of questions here from the audience real fast. This one comes from Cookie. She says, if there's anything you could have done differently on the show, if given the chance, is there anything you could have done differently?
If there's anything I could have done differently, I would have, I don't know, tried to be more active in the van. I think when we went to Vegas, I would have tried to be more entertaining. I wouldn't even know how to do that, like when you're sitting in a car. I think I did everything to the best of my ability. I don't think I would have changed anything. Maybe been more like behind the scenes vocal towards Brandon, like, I don't know, like negatively vocal towards him. But either way, I don't know, I think I did everything the best I could. When you're in there, it really messes you up in the head. Like no matter how strong or smart you think you are, being in an environment like that messes with you. And that's the cool part, is that whoever makes it, you have to study like what did that do to you to make you survive in this whole thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. When you think back on being on the show, what moment are you most proud of?
Getting Symbol out, standing up to Sam. I feel like people don't do that very often. He's a very respected guy, and for good reason. But I, I'm me, and I have my own ideas, and I'm gonna stand up for them. And I don't think either of them should have been on the show. Not Sam, Symbol or Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any idea how much money's worth of like plushies you were like laying next to?
I had an inkling. Did you guys calculate it?
Oh, it
It's
was quite a fucking bit.
yeah, it's close to like $15,000 worth
It's a
of
shitload
plushies.
of money you were like laying on.
It's a little more than $15,000, but yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Um, going back to standing up to Sam, there was a moment when you guys were at the paintball range where uh Sam had been giving you a hard time that whole day.
Ugh.
And uh Bert actually like got in his face about him disrespecting women. Um do you remember that?
I do. And I really was shocked in that moment. I was shocked. A lot of things didn't shock me or scare me on the tank. Like there was very few. But that was a moment where I was like, oh fuck. Because Sam was giving me grief, and I figured it was because I was like not popular or something. And I just kept brushing it off. But like he was like intense. So to see Bert stand up for me, like that was real. He was real for that. And Bert's a cool guy, and I respect him for standing up for me.
Yeah, I like Bert. We all like Bert here a lot. This is a good question. I'm gonna alter it just a little bit to make it more interesting. Mode asks, oh, you ready for this one? FMK, Bert, Alex, B, or Symbol?
That's a good one. Bert, Alex, B, or Symbol. Kill Symbol, duh. And then I'd fuck Bert and marry Alex.
There you go. Flip
Tell
it,
his wife.
baby. I got all the money, baby. My dad's worth $60 million. Look it up. I ain't lying. Michael Lee Bernard.
Was there any part of yourself that you had to kind of hide away from this show in order to survive? Like, what part of you that you're giving to us right now did you have to kind of tuck away in order to survive this thing?
Oh, all of it. I had to pretend to be like brain dead and just like a non threatening, like backseater. And that's not who I am.
How would you describe yourself in reality? Are you like a sensitive person? Like, are you, you really love your friends? Like, what kind of person are you really?
I love my friends. I love people a lot. The reason why I'm so good with people is because I understand them on a really deep level. And to do that, you have to have some sort of empathy. So for me, people, I see people making mistakes and it makes me angry. You know what I mean? So I have to have like an apathetic view, because if I were to care so much openly about people, it would just hinder my whole life. So I just focus on myself and the people around me. I care for them, but I allow them to make their own choices and everything like that. But I cry during movies. I love cinema. I have a letterbox. If you're not following me on letterbox, do so. So
Oh,
movies make me
we'll
cry a
definitely
lot.
put that out there.
Yeah.
Was there a moment in the show that you wanted to stand up for somebody, but you didn't quite work up the courage?
That's a good question. I think every time somebody was, getting heckled or whatever, but I understood what was going on, and I understood that they had to be pushed out in a way. So the more they got hassled, the better it was for me. So normally, if anyone ever like touched anyone near me or did anything to anyone near me, I would stand up for them. I fought people at clubs for putting hands on a woman, like verbally fought and got them to leave and like all this. Like I stand up for people a lot in real life, but in the show, I wasn't going to do that because that's not the point.
Was there a
I
moment in the show that made you feel kind of alarmed, like, oh man, maybe somebody should stand up for this person?
No, not really. I think everything was pretty safe. Like I didn't feel like anyone was going to die. When I heard Alyssa had a knife, like I thought that was psychotic. Like you're going to grab a knife on a set like and walk around with it. That's crazy.
And you thought though you felt pretty safe, like they had a good handle on it, like even if she did have that, like they probably got it.
No, not so much because they weren't around, but like for example, when Alex B and Symbol were fighting on the night that me and Symbol basically broke up, I just sat in the corner and opened the door because I knew they were gonna run upstairs. But yeah, I just felt like no one there was actually gonna do anything crazy. And if they did, I don't know, I didn't think it was gonna be to me.
One of the questions that we got here is what was going on between you and Lily? There seemed to be a little bit of a flirtatious. Obviously, you guys kissed and stuff like that. But I know you've already gone over it. But what all went down in the bedroom that night?
So I don't remember how it came up, but Lily was like, "Oh, you want to cuddle later or whatever?" And I was like, "Sure," because she cuddled with the other Alex B, and it was funny because she got up and said, "I have to pee," and then just like never came back. So I didn't think it was going to be anything crazy. I didn't watch what they did in there or anything. I thought they were just sleeping. So I was
Hmm.
like nervous about it because I didn't want that to be like my angle on the tank. Like I didn't want to be like doing sexual stuff. But she came
Hmm.
in wanting to do sexual stuff. Like I saw she was like making out with everyone, like going to the bathroom with Tony. And so I was like, sure, we'll cuddle. But then she started kissing me. And yeah, we moved around, but I did not finger bang her.
Oh.
Like we were just cuddling and like moving around and like being cute. It's kind of sucks like when you're like locked in there with like nobody ever. But at the end, my whole plan was to have her infiltrate Tony and like get close to her. So if she likes me romantically, I could have had her go and like be the ears inside of the penthouse because she was always up there like fucking with one of
Hmm.
them. So that was kind of my internal intention. And she was all about it. But yeah, it just kind of didn't end up playing out because everyone left. So
So Binks, so throughout the show, like we all know that you've experienced like so much love from the fans, but unfortunately, like there's also kind of the hateful side of the fan base, and like so we've noticed this was evident, like not just in the TTS messages, but also in like the YouTube comments and the Discord, like chat rooms. Do you read all of the comments, and how do you handle being in the public eye dealing with such criticism? And if you do read these comments, what are strategies you use to cope with like the negativity around it?
I don't read all the comments. Honestly, I'm not like on Discord as much. But sometimes at night I go on there and I just start like shit talking because it's funny. Like not about me, but about like whatever they're talking about. Because the people in my Discord are actually really funny. Um, so I handle it by just how I've always handled things. Like I like you can say negative things to me, but that's on you. Like that doesn't matter to me personally. It's cool that you're watching and like I love interacting with people, even people who dislike me. But I don't like spend I don't know life in the Discord or whatever. It's just cool to see that I don't know, I'm like out there so much. That's like very surreal. But the hate honestly doesn't bother me too much.
They say
Has it ever?
behind.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, has it ever bothered you? Like, would you say like maybe after streaming for so long, you've kind of developed like somewhat of a thick skin for
No,
this?
no, because no. Well, after living for so long, I have not developed. I've developed thick skin, but for my streams, people were always nice. I've never been in like a COD lobby where people are like, "Ew, a girl." Like I've never experienced that. So I've never had hate online until now. But in life, I think I've just been through so many things that are horrible that this is nothing compared to that. So I'm like, whatever.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of shocking because what you're describing sounds kind of normy, but you don't seem norm. You seem like a girl that's been in a COD lobby or two. You know what I mean? Respectfully.
I mean, I played Warzone for a while, and I grew up playing Counter Strike, like Source, and yeah, I don't know.
Where do you think you got your backbone from? Because you got it from, if it wasn't from a COD lobby, it came from somewhere.
No, like I said, my life was pretty bad. Like I had bad things happen. Like my dad was an alcoholic. My mom was not well. Um, when I hate bringing it up, not because I don't like to talk about it. It's because people say I'm using it as like a pity thing, and like I don't need you to pity me. I'm just saying like the reason I am a solid person is because all the things that were meant to tear me down, I used to build myself up. And there's nothing worse than your dad being a fuck up and your mom being nuts. Like, there's just nothing worse than that. Growing up, you just decide to choose yourself, you know?
I think a lot of people can relate to that. Like, there's probably there's probably like 100 people listening that at some point during the week that can relate to this 100% for sure.
Yeah, so that's where I developed my character from. I said I was either going to become like them or be better than them, and you know, someone saying something mean about me doesn't even hurt a smidge, a drop, the way that it felt to deal with those things growing up. So I just have a higher threshold for things that bother me.
So the
What is
TTS didn't even phase you at first, did it?
No, I expected
was
that. I've seen people troll online before.
was
I don't know.
there a point where you when you realized that the computer was TTS as opposed to being like production?
Wait, what? Like one, like if I could tell when it was production and when it was
No,
CTS?
like was there a point when you realized that it was no longer production and it was actually people, like the viewers or whatever, right?
I can't recall. Probably when they started saying messed up stuff. Like not I I didn't know the AI thing was like super solid because like it can't read biometrics. I thought it was just being funny. Like I thought that was just like part of the show or whatever. Um, but I can't recall when it started becoming like that. Definitely once we started getting plushies with the names that I had to shout out, that's when I knew.
Mhm.
Um, for sure. But not when it was talking only. I thought maybe production was just saying stuff to like mess with us or something to see how we'd act.
Did you
Um,
feel like everything was a gaslight? Like it really felt like that? Like Jackass?
Yeah, for me, yeah. I'm just a skeptical person. I don't know. I just don't buy things easily like that.
I promised that I wasn't gonna ask any fucking questions about what something smells like. But people really want me to ask, what does Majok smell like?
I've never smelled him. I've never been close enough to smell him. Like I don't know. I don't think he smokes cigarettes, so he doesn't smell like cigarettes. I've never smelled him. You know what? Okay, how about this? Everyone else is stinky, and he's not stinky, because I
Oh,
would
there you
know.
go.
There you go.
Interesting.
I
There
had a
you go.
fan sniff me, and there's a video of it out there if you can find him. It's the dude who was wearing the Vulpix shawl at the Ball Brothers concert.
Hmm.
I said, oh, he's like, oh, Stinky Binks. Like he was like, I don't know, negging me, and then I'm like, you want to smell me? And he's like, oh my god, I have to take a video of this. So there's a video of a fan smelling me and confirming I'm not stinky. So
Chat, we can run that back later.
Is there anybody from past seasons that you've seen in clips or maybe might have spoken to that you would like to work with or that you'd like to meet that we might be able to facilitate for you?
God, I love Letty so much. She's
Oh,
so cool.
She's so hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, what does she do?
I think she streams on Kick, I believe.
Cool.
But not that often.
Was she ever like streaming before? Or this is like what motivated her to be a streamer.
No, I think with Letty, she basically before Fishtank, she stayed in her room a lot and played, what was it, Fall Guys, like nonstop 24 hours a day. And then after Fishtank, she kind of started doing like a little bit of kick streaming here and there. And then she did she came back for Blood Games, and then her and John did that Ice Poseidon thing together.
Yeah, that was another thing I see a lot is people saying that because I knew who Ice Poseidon was, I knew who Fishtank was, and really, I only learned who he was when he did that thing, the Hunger Games, because my cousin was watching it, and he sent me clips, and he's like, "This is Ice Poseidon. He's a kick streamer."
In the beginning of this season, people were dead convinced that you were dropping these little breadcrumbs. You were saying things like, "Oh, we should do this when people get off work and stuff," indicating that you knew that it was live and all these things. All these people were putting together these conspiracy tinfoil hat theories and stuff, and they were doing the same with Mizzy too, because Mizzy was the main one we were all convinced that was a plant and knew the whole thing. But definitely I noticed that a lot of people thought in the beginning Binx was definitely in on it. But
so here's the thing is that I do remember saying the thing about after work, and I can't confirm or deny right now because I don't remember when this happened, but I'm pretty sure that was after the Sam had already said that the test audience loves this to something that Alex was doing in the confessional. And so we already thought that there was people watching. That's why I made that comment.
So what were you convinced that people were watching? Did you know that it was live, or it was just kind of a rumor that you were tossing around?
It was a rumor at the time, but it wasn't confirmed. Nothing there was ever confirmed. So I proceeded with like caution on everything, being like, with a grain of salt. Nothing I took there was real, which is another reason why a lot of the things that I was told by production I was skeptical of. Like when they came in and told me I'm their favorite or something, which was apparently to troll you guys. I don't know what was going on with that, but I looked at them like they were insane. And they were like, "What?" Jet looks at me, he's like, "What?" And I was like, "What, you? Like, I don't get it."
Well, what do you think of the Life is Mizzy thing?
Oh, she's so funny.
Well, did you no, I mean like the whole like did you see that as a blatant gaslight, or did you think like, oh, they're really putting her on?
Oh no, they were like trolling the fuck out of her. That's exactly how I troll people too. It's very much like that. So I just thought it was really funny that they were doing that.
What, like rile them up like a golden retriever?
Yeah. And they're like, yeah. But she knew they were doing that too. She kind of was like, they're just fucking with me. They're just fucking with me.
Well, so how do you feel about that, by the way? Mizzy throughout the whole show has claimed like, oh, I knew the whole time. Like I knew the whole time. Like I was playing into it. Do you believe her that she was kind of like, yeah, this is obvious. This is stupid. I'm just going with it.
I don't know. I believe that she knew about it, like how she says, but
well, you knew about it. If you knew about it, then I guess maybe she could have known about it, I guess.
You're talking about the Life is Mizzy gaslight or the whole thing?
Well, the whole thing, including the Life is Mizzy gaslight.
Well, I didn't know any of those things going into it, just the things I figured out, but I didn't feel the need to be like, oh yeah, I know this is happening, but she is very proud of like that. So I feel like, yeah, I think she might have known more from before because that they had to pull her downstairs and they told her stuff. So Yeah, for sure. But I think like when the Life is Mizzy gaslight thing came on, I think she had a suspicion that they were messing with her.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that happened is you and Job got along really well. When can we expect the Minecraft wedding?
Well, I did when I saw Job, I was like, that's my people. Job understands. When he walked in the door and he told me he was a male model, I was like, okay, all right. But yeah, so I was gonna be friends with him no matter what. And the Minecraft server has been installed. I have everything up how it needs to be. So maybe later this week or early next week we will play. And we have to work our way up to the wedding though, unless he sets it up, because I only played Minecraft on Switch vanilla. So this is a whole new world for me.
Awesome. And then lastly, you and Luke seem to hit it off pretty well. Can we expect any more content from you and Luke in the future?
It's a possibility. Yeah, he's a cool guy. He doesn't live too far, but it's still 3 hours. But I expect to work with everyone in the future, you know. So yeah, I'm glad we could have that before he went back home.
Nice. Well, Binks, I really appreciate you coming in and allowing us to talk and ask you all these questions and annoy you. I've been getting. It looks like your stream's been lagging, and I've been getting like a lot of hate messages.
Yeah,
So it
they
might
hate
be,
it.
yeah, it might be on your side. I don't know.
It's
But
the
either way,
internet.
if you want to go ahead and just show your stuff really fast and let everybody know where they can find you if they don't already know, um, we'd really appreciate
Yeah, give
that.
us
Thank
all them socials.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm binxbasilisk on everything: Instagram, X, Twitter, and I do have a Kick if you want to follow me on there as a backup. And what else? I'm going to be selling postcards from the trip. I have two of them from the Oasis Hotel, which is, you know, the notorious hotel. So we can write a hateful comment on it and send it to you. I'm going to be selling those and posting them somewhere. So follow me and I'll let you know. What else? What else? What else? Minecraft wedding coming soon with Job. And I'm glad that you guys were able to at least tune into this other stream that works, because my internet is not good right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Binks.
Thank you, Binks. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we
Thank
really
you, guys.
appreciate you stopping in and look forward to seeing more of you in the future. Thank you once again.
For sure. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, Binks.
Later,
Bye,
dude.
Binks. See ya.
Later. I'll see you.
All right.
All right, kill it. Kill a feed. Kill a feed. Cut that shit out. You didn't say you should have asked it. You should have asked it. You should have asked it.
My new setup.